Metal
Hellsinger
is a rhythm-based FPS from hell.
The story is you are playing a female demon known as the Unknown who has unfinished business with the Lords of Hell. And you have to kill and slash and shoot basically every demon between you and the Lord of Hell to resolve it.
And the game has two parts. First one is FPS, fast-paced, like Doom.
Very much.
And the second one is a rhythm game, like Guitar Hero kind of, where you have to shoot exactly at the beat. If you don't, you can still kill the bad guys, but you're gonna take more damage and multiply by timing your hits perfectly.
So the game has 9 different levels, which each one has a different theme, kind of a different motif, but all of it's in hell. There's lots of fire, there's lots of skulls, there are demons. And each level is a kind of long corridor, a series of rooms, and each time you reach a room, you're going to get locked there. You're going to have waves of demons that you have to clear out. Once you clear out all of the demons, you get to go to the next room, and at the end of each level, there is a boss. The boss is pretty much the same at the end of each one, except for the very last one. But we'll talk more about that in the second part of this video.
And there's a good variety of both enemies and weapons. Some of the enemies are easy to kill, other ones have shields or really great health. And there's weapons like a sword, kind of a shotgun, 2 fast weapons, or a crossbow.
Each weapon has a special ability that you actually have to charge up by doing damage, and then you can do something really special like have a clone of yourself that's shooting alongside you so it doubles your damage, that kind of thing. There are also upgrades that you can only equip 2 of them at a time. Those don't make a huge difference in the gameplay though.
What makes a big difference is timing everything perfectly by the beat, and that beat is in the center next to your crosshair in the middle. It is indicated by arrows, but you can also hear it, and this is very important because the soundtrack is metal, as the title says. So you can hear it as well, see it visually both. You can decide which one's better for you.
And this is one of the most unique and special things about this game is that the music is very closely tied to the gameplay, to the extent that at the beginning of each level you just kind of have the drum beat. And as you hit the beats perfectly, the music will add additional layers until you get to the climax where these soaring vocals come in. And it really makes you feel that as you are in sync with the music and the action is going smoothly, it actually builds up the soundtrack, and this is a pretty cool effect.
But we can't talk much about soundtrack because we're both actually not fans of metal.
Yeah.
So this is going to be, should you play it as a non-metal fan?
But before we get to that, you should know that this game has a free demo on Steam, so you can go try the first level and a final boss anytime you want for free. And if you have a subscription to GamePass, which you should, we talk a lot about that on our second channel about gaming subscriptions, then this game is available in full right now for no extra cost, just your subscription to Game Pass. So that is how you can play it. So because I am not a fan of metal, and also I have not played a lot of the Doom-like genre, honestly, the very fast-paced FPS. So I didn't really know what to expect, and in fact, for the gameplay, I enjoyed the environment and the challenge a little bit more than I expected. The ability to dash and fly around, kind of glide, the very fast-paced nature of it was pretty satisfying. There are 2 things that I will say that kind of swayed my opinion. And this is something very personal that I don't think I've ever told you, Michal. We've been doing this channel for 3 years. I don't think I've ever said.
Okay.
I have a terrible sense of rhythm. Just awful. Like, I can't sing and clap my hands at the same time.
But that's why they're the arrows in a crosshair.
It did not help at all. And I was really focused on the fast-paced action. I'm also not great at first-person shooters, this kind of thing. So I'm just trying to kill the demon when I'm also supposed to think about keeping the rhythm. It did not work for me. I could see what I was supposed to do. It was just frustrating. I ended up just kind of hacking and slashing my way through it like a barbarian.
It is difficult to master, yes.
I can absolutely see that if you get in sync with it and if you're able to have a flow, that it's an absolute great feeling. And in my several hours of playing, and it's a pretty short game to get to the end. It's 5 to 8 hours to get through it, and then there are lots of challenges. But in my time playing it, I think I would really struggle, and I would always find this mechanic to be frustrating. That's something very personal. Then also, it does start to get kind of repetitive. It is the same thing, and the action at the beginning feels very much like the action near the end of the game as well. It does not develop that much. As for not being a metal fan, I still found the music to be pretty cool. I'm not a headbanger, but I like the music. It fits the game. That's cool. But if you are not good with rhythm, then this game is probably not for you, because that is a really big part of enjoying it. For me personally, I'm not going to be playing it more. And if a friend was asking me my honest opinion, I would say no, don't recommend it. But I don't think it's a bad game.
Okay. Well, I'm on the other side of this opinion because I have enjoyed it more than I expected. Okay. I also don't like the metal, and I really think the music is pretty good.
It's cool.
I only don't like the last parts when they scream. And I also don't like that same boss at the end of the levels. But everything else I loved, and I'm surprised that nobody else made a first-person beat shooter before, because this is very cool, and it's the only game that I shoot zombies or monsters and doing like this.
Yeah, I never got to. That never got to me. Yeah,
and I think even you can. Maybe you haven't played it with your earphones because. You did?
I did.
Okay,
yeah.
So
sorry. It's practically a disability.
I tried it even without. It was still possible, and I didn't match all the timing perfectly, but it was very intense, and each level I enjoyed it more and more, and there was enough differences, more monsters, more different types, and more weapons, so it kept me entertained. So it's actually yes for me.
Okay.
I can recommend it to people, and I would even recommend it to someone who is not good at beat, but if they want to get better, this game could actually help you, because you can see the arrows, and that helps you a lot.
Right. If I was really 100% focused on that part, I was just focused on not dying.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's what we do on this channel. We often give you 2 different opinions. You can decide which one sounds more like your playing style. And on our channel, we talk especially about a lot of free games, especially from the Epic Game Store. So if you like free games, consider sticking around and subscribing. And let us know down in the comments if Metal Hellsinger sounds like a game for you.
So hope to see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Stop. Oh my god.
It's exhausting. Not sure how they do it for hours. I think I hurt my neck. Okay. Demons and death and doom and hell.